What's going on, Evenant? Big Jer, back with you again. And today, we're going to be designing a melodic pad. It sounds like this. All right, let's get into it. Here we go. So I do have a little melody that we'll be designing too. I'll include that MIDI for you, but we are basically designing to the first note is an F3. It's going to sound like this. All right, pretty basic, right? So the first thing we're going to end up doing here is going to our envelope, and we're going to set our envelope for a pad, okay? So we're going to open this guy up a bit, and open up our release a little bit, and we're going to sound like this. Nice, and we're going to get that really open kind of pad sound. Next thing I'm going to want to do is adjust my wave form table thing. And I'm going to go down and I used, I think it was a spectral, I think squelchy one. Okay, got some nice, looks like some nice textures on that. And right away I want to give it just a little bit of, right, so a little bit of that. So we could take our LFO1 over here, and if we hit Shift, Option, and click, we get the one that goes both ways, and we can kind of give it some motion there. Let's set it to trigger, and we'll bring it down to around 2 bars to give it a nice slow sweep. Nice slow sweep, pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and add a little bit of noise to this, okay? Just stick right with the hum. We'll put this on key tracking. I'm gonna bring this down 2 octaves, and this is gonna add a nice low kind of texture. Cool, sounds like it's windy outside. So let's bring this guy over here. We'll do a little bit of the panning for it. So maybe we want to add a little bit of bend here. So I don't think we've used flip, so let's try what that sounds like. To dig that, it gives it a nice little warped effect there. Cool. Let's just stack it with our default here to get a little bit of this saw wave in. But I think what I want to do is pull this down an octave. And before we move into our filter section, I think maybe we'll throw a bunch of voices here. And we'll go over to our global and set this to a super saw. So it actually changes the shape of the voices here, and I could spread them a little bit further and keep it in tune more. So at this point, I think we could probably run this through a filter. So I just want to basically take off some of those high piercy stuff, right? So let's run A, B, and the noise through this filter. Okay. So on this side, I'm looking pretty good. I'd like to switch this to mono. So again, we're only going to be making this like a melodic pad, right? So we only need the 1 note, probably. If you want, you could adjust that. But I'm going to go over to my effects section and start to make this a little more unique. Okay, over here in the filter section, first thing I'm going to do is add a dimension expander, and I'm going to want to turn the size down and turn this thing up a bit. I like this to be a little bit, wide. Let's turn this down first. Gosh, next, let's bring in some distortion, maybe diode 1. I bet you this would be cool for like a buzz effect. Like we could bring this in as added like buzz. Oh, almost sounds like a guitar overdrive thing, So I'm gonna go for delay next, and we're gonna do this kind of resonant thing I like to do to add some texture here. Let's see what we got. Okay, sounded good. And a little compression will bring it together in OTT mode. And I think we could add a little bit of EQ right there at the end, shape this up. Okay, maybe add a cool little movement here to our EQ guy. Let's see. Okay, let's turn that gain down just a bit. Okay. And okay, so just a few more things until this is sounding pretty good. So let's bring some reverb in, okay? And let's go ahead and assign it to this. That way, we could have it in here if we want it, but then later on we could turn it off if we don't. Looking pretty good to me. Let's flip back to this side, and I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of a glide. So when I hit always here, that means that no matter what, when it moves to another note, it'll always glide to it. So let's find that sweet spot. All right, it sounded pretty good to me. I'm digging it from here. I like it. We got to make sure we're on our polys off, so we only got the one voice. And yeah, this is a pretty dope sound. Let's make sure there's nothing else we have to do. Remember to switch to ×4 before you print, and go ahead and save. So we'll go into our Evenant sound. And yeah, we'll call this one Remember the Good Times. Why not? Call it whatever you want. All right, guys. Simple pad. Easy enough. I'll see you on the next one. See ya.